Hey, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about the new Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6 which is on my hand right now, and I'm going to share about my own personal experience after I have only about 2 weeks. So if you are interested about more about the Xperia 1 Mark 6, you can drop your question at the comment section below if I didn't cover for today sharing. So the first thing that I'm going to share is about the new chipset, about the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It's really like a stable performance in terms of the chipset performance. It doesn't really provide a huge in terms of the heat. Even I play among with the graphic intensive games, as well as I record a long duration in terms of video recording, it still really perform very well. I'm able to record about 4K 100 FPS for about 13 minutes without stopping. It's really good. Second things about I would like to highlight over here is about the new battery life for the Xperia 1 Mark 6. So there are a couple of things have been changed in terms of hardware. First thing about chipset that I mentioned just now. Second about display. So in Xperia 1 Mark 6 right here, it do have the new display with the full HD plus only, despite of the 4K. But at the same time, you're also having the LTPO variable dynamic refresh rate in terms of the display. So it's giving a good combo in terms of the battery life, and it really can achieve about the 2-day battery life as claimed by the Sony itself. So this is the most impressive feature that I have experienced among these 2 weeks. So battery life, you can really count on that. Okay. The third thing is about the new camera apps. In the past, Xperia would have the Photo Pro, Video Pro, and Cinema Pro as an example. But right now in Xperia 1 Mark 6, basically Sony have integrate everything. It's not really everything, but it trying to integrate between the Photo Pro and Video Pro into one single new camera apps. You're still able to go access to the Pro mode, manual, and some of the shutter speed mode. But at the same time, you also have a new basic mode. This is much more user intrusive. You really can go and experience like how other smartphone behave, right? You just have to turn it on and touch on the screen and press the shutter button. That's it. But if you would like to go with the Pro mode like myself, you also can scroll to the left Pro mode and access whatever feature that you want, right? And one thing that I would like really to highlight about this new camera apps is about your photo safe location. If in the past, if you choose for the SD card as well, but if you're recording 4K 60 fps or 4K 120 fps, the video will not recorded into a SD card, and it will force you to deselect and select into internal storage, right? But with the new camera apps, you are able to record 4K 60 fps or 4K 120 fps video into a SD card directly. So the only thing that is I'm not able to capture your image or your video into the SD card is the burst shot. So if you are going with the burst shooting like 20 or 30 fps, you are not able to go to the SD card. It will still remain in the internal. So but once after you select whatever the best picture or best image out there, you can just manually transfer it into a SD card. Right. The next item that I would like to highlight over here is about the main camera sensor. So I'm coming from the Xperia 1 Mark 4. That particular main camera sensor has been used from the Xperia 1 Mark 2 until 1 Mark 4, and in general Mark 5, I think they already upgraded the main sensor with the new camera sensor, which is 52 megapixel, but they are downscaling into the 12 megapixel. So in 1 Mark 6, it allows us to capture in 12 megapixel or in 48 megapixel as well. So at the same time, it also provide us about the 2x, which is 48mm in terms of focal length in the lossless or optical quality, because it will use the center part of the sensor, the entire sensor, which is providing us about the full 12 megapixel instead of digital zoom into 2x. So that's about the great thing about the main camera sensor. It really provides us a crispy clear in terms of the image as compared to 1 Mark IV. If you can look into some of the samples that I provided right now, there's a difference between the photo quality difference between the 1 Mark IV and the 1 Mark VI. Okay, the next thing is about new camera photo lens. So it's able to provide from the focal length of 85mm up to 170mm. So it's as compared with the previous generation, it's a cover 85 to 125. So right now we are able really to provide is about double in terms of the telephoto lens, but there's a cons over there which I will mention in a later times. But there's an additional one of the feature coming out with this telephoto lens is about the telemacro shot. So there's one of the feature in 1 Mark VI where you scroll to the most right. There's one new feature, as you can see right here. There's one of the telemacro shot. So this is really impressive to me. You can get as close as 4 cm to get a super macro shot, but there are some of the technique that you have to manually focus it. But to me, it's quite makes sense because at that kind of close and you want the auto focus is quite impossible. And in the professional camera world as well, I think they also doing with the manual focusing. So this is another upgrade that in my list. The next one is the display. So display, although it's kind of a downgrade, it's also part of the cons or downgrade in terms of my sense. But at the same time, this display has provided us a much more brighter in terms of the brightness. So if you go to under the sunlight, you really can see a very bright in terms of the screen display. So it's really usable under the sunlight or under the hot bright environment. So I think this is kind of the upgrade to me as well. The next one is about the speaker. It sounds like it's much more higher in terms of volume, or it's much more rich. Although it's still same pair of the stereo speaker, but compared with my 1 Mark IV, I think whenever I am able to the full volume, it sounds much more louder, right? So I think it's kind of an upgrade as well. For LED flashlight, so this is one of the major things that we always highlight about it. Is the LED camera. LED light at the back of the camera. In the past, the LED light is like very dim, so very dark. So with the 1 Mark VI, the brightness is like really increased significantly. So this is kind of the upgrade to me as well. So there's about 8 upgrade to me, and there's about 3 downgrade. So the first thing definitely is a display. So it's really to some of the people. In the past, we always talk about the Sony unique feature with a 4K display on the market, on the smartphone market. But right now, we already downgraded into Full HD Plus. In order to get the good battery life, but this is a thing that we have to sacrifice, right? To some people who are really care, yeah, well, it makes sense, but to people who not really care about whether it's 4K, 2K, in fact, the screen display and the quality and color thing, temperature, everything's all good. Especially the things that I mentioned just now, brighter screen. We have the LTPO. What else? Yeah. At the same time, it's also leading to a good battery life in terms of the user experience. So I think it's kind of a upgrade at the same time it's also a downgrade. So it depends how you think about that. But to me, I really not care about that, right? The next thing is about the notification LED light. In the past, we have one of the LED notification light on the top corner, but I think starting from the One Mark 5 they already cancelled that LED, which I quite disappointed. To me, I think it's kind of like a good indicator for me whether I have received a message or whatever. So without that, have to really turn on, double click and turn on and see whether there's any message that I have received. So if possible, I hope Sony can bring back the notification LED light. Okay, the next one is about the screen ratio. So the screen ratio have been changed from 21:9 to 19.5:9. So it's same as an iPhone Pro Max if you are really wondering what's the comparison. So out there's quite a number of the phone also using 19.5 or 20:9. Is it really useful? Yeah, partially it is. If you are looking at the some of like TikTok video or some of the reel or some of vertical short clip or some of YouTube short or reel or whatever. So I think it's quite useful because the black spaces on the top and the bottom will be lesser because it's able to scratch out a little bit more. But in terms of the experience, it's slightly wider to me. My hand is quite small, so I'm used to the narrow screen. But does it really matter? I'm not sure. Maybe after you use about 2 weeks or 1 month, probably you're used to it. But for me, I think I'm still prefer 21:9. I hope Sony will bring back the 21:9. Yeah, that's it. So these are the initial impression or initial review based on my 2 weeks of the hands-on on the Xperia One Mark 6. So if you have other kind of like question or doubt that you want to understand more about the Xperia One Mark 6, please feel free to drop your question at the comment section below and I will try to answer you as soon as possible. And if you are interested to look at some of the photo sample on ongoing, you can just follow into my YouTube channel and I'll post it in the community section so you can see some of the sample that I have. So I have posted some of the tag macro samples so you can look at it. Okay, so yep, I think that's all. In case if I do have any updates, I will update in the next video. Thank you. Bye.